Right, so here's another update on my progress on getting through my backlog. These are all PS3 games which I've been playing recently. I think there's about 12 or 13 here. These are the ones that I really like, so I'm going to keep them. And these are the ones that aren't really for me, so I'm going to put them onto eBay. So let's take a look at the ones that I like first. So first up is Duke Nukem Forever. So this is a game that's hated by most people. Now, I've never played a Duke Nukem game before this one. This is the only one that I've played, so maybe if I'd have grown up playing the really old Duke Nukem games, maybe I would have been really disappointed with this one, and maybe I wouldn't have liked it either. But you know, to be honest, I find it a fun game. You know, it reminds me of like the really old first-person shooters that you'd get like on the PS1 and N64 and stuff. It's that old style of a first-person shooter. I like the humour in it as well. It's kind of like schoolboy humour, and you do silly things in it, like you can take a piss in the piss pots, like in the toilets. You can throw turds around. It's just kind of got like that silly kind of schoolboy humour to the game, which I like. And yeah, you know, I like the character, the Duke Nukem character. It's a pretty fun game. Next up is Super Street Fighter 4, and recently I found out there's a few different versions of Street Fighter 4. I think maybe this is the best one. It's either this one or it's the Ultra one. But yeah, really great game. Pretty much straight away when I first started, you know, within like say 10 seconds of playing this, I thought, yep, you know, unless there turns out to be something that's drastically wrong with the game, then this is definitely something that I want to keep. You know, it's a Street Fighter game. It's got that Street Fighter magic, which pretty much all Street Fighter games have, which I've played. You know, it's just a really great game, and it's kind of got like a 3D look to it this time. Kind of like the backgrounds and the characters that you control, they've kind of got like a 3D look to them. Next up is The Sims 3. So I've played The Sims 1 and 2. It's a bit dirty, this actually. It's not what I've done to it, it's just how it was when I picked it up. I've not got around to cleaning it yet. So I played The Sims 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2 a very long time ago. I don't think I have them anymore, but I found them fun for a while. This one, I've been really enjoying it. It seems like there's a lot more to this one than The Sims 1 and 2. You know, there just seems to be like loads and loads of menus and different options and stuff. And if you're not familiar with The Sims, it's basically you just kind of micromanage a bunch of people, and you can like decorate the house and put furniture in it and change things, and it's just a very interesting game. Resident Evil Revelations. So in this pile we have Resident Evil 5 and 6, which I don't like, and so I played those two first, and then when I went to put this one on, I thought, you know, it's probably going to be more of the same. I'm probably not really going to like this one either. For some reason I had a feeling it was going to be like, it was going to have a very similar look and feel to it as Resident Evil 6, but I was really, you know, when I started playing this, I was really surprised that it's quite a different game. You know, within like the first minute of playing it, I was thinking, you know something, this game feels very different. It's like I've got a very good feeling about it. There's something about the game which is making me think, you know something, I think this is actually going to turn out to be pretty good. And that is how it turned out. It's a really fun game. It's a lot more like the classic Resident Evils than how Resident Evil 5 and 6 are. I think most of it takes place on a ship, and I do quite like that setting for a Resident Evil game. Yeah, it's just a really really great game. Great music as well, great presentation. Gran Turismo 6, same kind of thing as the Street Fighter game. It's a Gran Turismo game. You know, it's got that Gran Turismo magic to it. You know, played it for a short while and thought, yep. You know, again, unless there turns out to be something like drastically wrong with the game, then this is definitely going to be a keeper. It's a Gran Turismo game. I love the Gran Turismo games, and yeah, really good. Loads of cars to collect, loads of tracks to race on, you can do up your cars. It's a great game. But it still has the problem of a lot of cars, they just don't have interiors, so they're just black inside like a shadow. And I think a lot of the cars as well, they're kind of pixelated, you know, like Gran Turismo 5, it's like what something like you get, I think you get like premium cars where they're not pixelated and the damage looks better on them, and you get interiors, and then you get standard cars where there's no interior, damage isn't as good, and they look pixelated. Sonic Generations. So this is absolutely amazing. This is one of the best Sonic games I've ever played in my life. It's just, I think it's just a masterpiece. You can play levels which are based on the really old Sonic games, like Green Hill Zone from the first Sonic, and you can play them like in a 2D style, and you can play them in a 3D style as well. There's quite a lot to the game, and it's a lot of fun. Really great sensation of speed, just a really fun game. And then we have John Daly's Prostroke Golf. So I have Prostroke Golf on the PlayStation 2, which I really like. It's like basically a golf simulation. And with this one, before you take a shot, there's so many different adjustments you can do to like how your golf club is positioned and how you hit the ball and whatever. There's quite a lot to it, and I'm basically absolutely crap at this game. I'm just no good at it at all. I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm taking the shots. I don't really know exactly how to adjust things or whatever, but you know, through experience and just, you know, just learning how to play it properly, I think I should be able to get better at the game, at least.
Well, that's a greedy little bunker, isn't it?
So, those are all the games that I'm keeping. And so let's take a look at the games which are just not for me, and so they're going to go onto eBay. So first up is Tomb Raider. Now, I really like the really early Tomb Raider games, like the first Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1, and then I think it was called Tomb Raider The Last Revelation on the Dreamcast. I really like those games. This, it's nothing like those games at all. It's like it's a very kind of cinematic experience. It's like it's trying to be like some Hollywood blockbuster film, and there's just like too many cutscenes all the time. It just kind of feels shallow and kind of like an on rails interactive movie. So it's just not for me at all in the slightest, and I don't really like the combat in it either. Or maybe I'm just crap at the combat, I don't know. But it got a lot of good reviews, this one. I was surprised because I was thinking, you know something, this game's probably going to get a lot of hate because it's kind of like a reboot or whatever you'd call it, and usually reboots, remakes, remasters, whatever, they get a lot of hate, but this one has got a lot of love from a lot of people. Resident Evil 5, I have the standard edition and the gold edition. The gold edition, it's got some extras, which this one doesn't have. So, it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 4 a bit. It's kind of got that look and feel to it, I think. I could be wrong because it's been many years since I played Resident Evil 4, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. Now, for me, this game has a major problem, and that is a character called Shiva. She basically follows you around throughout the whole game, and she gets in the way a lot. She runs over to items and picks them up, items that I wanted to pick up, and I just find her really, really annoying. It's kind of like a fly that's constantly buzzing around your head all the time that you can't get rid of. That's how it is. That's how the game feels for me, and because of that, I'm just not able to enjoy it at all. I think if it wasn't for that, then I think I probably would enjoy the game, although I'm not really that keen on the fact that the game takes place in Africa. It just kind of feels very un-Resident Evil. But yeah, the character that just tags along with you and just gets in the way all the time, it's just really annoying. I'm just not able to enjoy the game at all. Now, in Revelations, let's see, where is it? You do usually have a character with you all the time, but they don't get in your way. You know, you can just easily get past them. They're not grabbing things that you want to grab. You know, so it's not annoying at all having a character with you most of the time in this game. Resident Evil 6. It's kind of a weird one, this game. This game actually does get a lot of hate. So, about half of the game, you just repeatedly killing zombie after zombie after zombie after zombie. While blasting zombies away with shotguns and stuff like that, while it is really fun, if you're just doing it over and over and over and over and over again, constantly, after about 10 minutes it just becomes really tedious and boring. And then, so about half of the game is like that, and then the other half of the game, it's like it's trying to be this dramatic blockbuster action movie. You know, there's lots of cutscenes, and I'm just, you know, and it's kind of feeling like an interactive movie when it's like that. I'm just not into that kind of game at all. You know, games that feel like they're trying to be like movies and like they just kind of feel too cinematic and stuff. I'm just not into that kind of thing for some reason. Just kind of makes the game feel like shallow. Yeah, and then sometimes, for some strange reason, you kind of lose control of things, like the camera will kind of move into a position that you don't want it to move in, and it will just stay in that position, and you can't kind of see ahead properly, and that's annoying. And then sometimes it's like you don't have full control over your character, like for some reason you can only walk, you can't make your character run anymore. So overall, yeah, I just couldn't get into this game, and it just kind of had a bit of, I won't say throughout the whole game because I've not played all the way through the game, but I've played quite a lot through the game, and for the most part the game just kind of has this like generic look and feel to it. Yeah, I don't know, it's not for me. I couldn't get into it. Really don't like it that much at all. And then lastly, no, it's not Saints Row 4. It's actually, because it was, when I picked this up, I thought I was buying Saints Row 4, but they put in the wrong disc by mistake at CEX. They put in Fast and Furious Showdown. It seems like a pretty good game. I've had some fun on it, but I don't think I enjoy it enough to want to keep it. You know, if I want to get my game collection down to a smaller size, I'm going to have to make some sacrifices, so that's going to go onto eBay as well. So, there you have it. These are the games that were in my backlog. that I've been playing recently. So the ones that I like and I'm keeping are Resident Evil Revelations, Prostroke Golf, Sonic Generations, Gran Turismo 6, The Sims 3, Super Street Fighter 4 and Duke Nukem Forever. And then the ones that are they're not really for me, I'm going to put them on eBay, get rid of them. The Fast and the Furious, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition, Resident Evil 5 and Tomb Raider. Right, so you might be able to notice that I've got through quite a few games in the backlog. There was like a pile of games there which came up to about there maybe. So you can see I've got it down now. I was wanting to start playing the Dreamcast games next and the Wii games that are in my backlog, but both my Dreamcasts are not working at the moment and I can't really be bothered with fixing them yet. And the Wii, there's an issue with that. I can't really get the controller to work with it properly. I don't know if I just don't know how to sync the controller properly, or whether there's a problem with it, like one of the buttons don't work, so I can't really be bothered with trying to sort that out either. You know, I've kind of got a lot of stuff on these days, so I can't really be bothered with trying to trying to sort out what's going on with both the consoles, you know, so I can play these games. So it's going to be the PlayStation 2 games next that I'll be tackling, and as you can see there's a real lot there, 2 stacks. And I don't think I've mentioned this before, but you know, a lot of people, they have trouble with picking what game to play next in their backlog, especially if they've got many games like I do. And I used to find it difficult as well, but I found a solution that, at least for me, it works really well, and that is to just put all of the games just like in a random order, just have them all mixed up, and then the game that I play next will just be whatever is the first one on top of the pile. So in this case it's going to be Tour de France, and then once I've played that, the next game will be the next game on the top of the pile. War chess. And I just find that the easiest way to pick what game I'm going to be playing next out of my backlog.